empty backfield on third down. Arizona rushes 4. Kirk steps up, sprints out to the right.
Took the ball away. Oh, wow.
Turns it 15-10. 5. Touchdown! Kirk Cousins with the 17.
Falcons fans, you now have your QB1. Kirk Cousins, Kirk O'Chains, is now quarterback 1 for the Atlanta Falcons, a move that will split the fan base down the middle. Some love the move, some hate the move. I'll give you my thoughts on the move right now. So to begin off, ultimately, the Falcons wanted to win now. That was the point of everything. Winning right now. They didn't want to wait. They didn't want to hope. I've said this when talking about the other options. If you draft a quarterback, first you're going to probably have to trade the farm. So you're going to have no draft assets to build this team. Everything has to be built through free agency. And then there's no guarantee Caleb Williams, Drake May, or Jaden Daniels, or even JJ McCarthy were going to work. So it was too big of a risk and too much you had to give up without a sure thing. You could have went Justin Fields, but based off this move, getting Kirk Cousins, they truly have just told us they don't believe in Justin Fields. They don't think Justin Fields is a good enough quarterback to get them to the promised land. The Falcons have a 2-year window with Kirk Cousins to win. They have signed him to a 4-year deal. I know that's going to scare some people. A 4-year deal worth $180 million, $45 per year the first 2 years, and $50 million to signing bonus. His third year will be $10 million guaranteed, which means if they want to cut him after the second year, it won't cost as much. For the most part, the main gist of this move is that the Falcons are saying these next 2 years are Super Bowl years. These next 2 years are we're trying to win the chip. We have heard Arthur Blank is getting older. He may give the reins of ownership to his son. Listen, I don't wish this on him, but he could pass away. So for him, he wants to see a Super Bowl in his lifetime. So he said, Terry, Raheem, get a quarterback, veteran quarterback right now who can get us to the promised land. Now, I know what maybe some people are saying. Kirk Cousins has never won, and that is true. He hasn't won. He's had great regular seasons. He's put up great numbers. So in terms of making the playoffs, I don't think that's the issue. I don't think that's the problem. I don't think that's where the Falcons aren't going to improve. They're going to probably be a playoff team this year, and they probably will win the NFC South. The question with Kirk Cousins is when they get to the postseason, will he play good enough to get them to the Super Bowl? That is the question that everybody wants to now know. Coming off an Achilles injury feels like a risk, but a risk that you have to take. And to win in this league, you have to take risks. Think about this, Raheem Morris, when he was on the Rams. They traded for Matthew Stafford. At that time, people didn't believe in Matthew Stafford. People thought Matthew Stafford was washed. People thought Matthew Stafford wasn't good enough. He didn't win in Detroit. He's not going to win in LA. They thought that he was not that big of an upgrade over Jared Goff for the Rams. And you know what happened the first year? They went all in. They got Stafford. They got weapons, elite coaching, Super Bowl. And that's what Raheem Morris is hoping for the Falcons. Elite coaching, elite roster. Now that you get the veteran QB, you get all that. Zach Robinson, up-and-coming play caller. He's expecting to try to get those same results that the Rams got, that Sean McVay got. Now with the Falcons, you can clearly see that Raheem Morris is imprinting a Rams vision on this team because the Rams have won a Super Bowl, so we cannot say the vision does not work. They have won a Super Bowl. Now, yes, they may have sold a lot and had to go through a down year because of it, but it's a risk that you have to be willing to take to win in this league sometimes. And now that they've made this move, you have to ask yourself, what are the next steps the Falcons may potentially make here? Obviously, upgrading the receiver position. We know how much of a revamp the receiver room needs. They could make a move in free agency. This could also open up the door for the 8th pick to potentially be Malik Nabers, Thomas Jr., any of those guys potentially who you think may be able to go there at the 8th spot could be the pick for the Falcons at 8. Or they could go after Tyler Boyd. They could go after Hollywood Brown. They could go after Odell. They could go after a few other guys potentially for receivers to potentially bring in and give extra weapons to Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, all of those guys. There are a lot of potential options they could go down. Look out for a pass rusher as well, getting an elite pass rusher in free agency to get that pass rush up to where it needs to be. You still got to also figure out who's playing next to Jesse Bates and who's playing opposite AJ Terrell as well. So these are all potential moves that the Falcons could potentially make. And one thing I want to also say about them not potentially trading up for a quarterback again is that here's this. Terry Fontenot, throughout his entire regime here, has been trying to get this team out of cap hell, trying to get the assets that they lost back. And he is very, very big about keeping all of his resources at his disposal just in case they do want to make a move. It's the smart way. Some may call it the conservative way, but it's the smart way. Because sometimes you don't want to just start throwing picks out there because then you're saying that you don't think you can develop. And with this coaching staff, I truly believe Raheem believes they can develop guys and get them in the right position. They feel like this roster is ready to win now, and that was why the addition of Kirk Cousins was needed. In terms of a quarterback that you know could step in day one and immediately win you games, there was no other quarterback on the market. Maybe Justin Fields, but like I said, they did not believe in Justin Fields. You cannot assume that Drake May, Caleb Williams, or Jake Daniels will be ready day one to get this team to the Super Bowl. You can't. There's just no way of knowing that. There's just no way. And that's too big of a risk. At least Kirk Cousins, can say, we have seen him win games. We have seen him put up big numbers. We have seen him use his weapons. We have seen him make the playoffs. We have seen him win divisions. That's what they want to do. Win the NFC South. Make the playoffs. Make a run. Get Pitts involved. Get London involved. Get Bijan involved. Get who else they add to this roster involved. And so, listen, I know a lot of people are split on Kirk Cousins. I completely stand it. But this is a 2-year essential deal where they are saying, we are going for the Super Bowl. Raheem is trying to get a ring. We're going to have to see if they can do that. We're going to have to continue to see what other moves the Falcons continue to make as free agency goes on. But they get their man. They get Kirk Cousins. He is now your quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. We'll probably see Taylor Heineke get cut. We'll see what happens with Desmond Ridder. Maybe keep him for QB2. Falcons are going to be active and still have very many moves to make after this. But this was the one move they needed to make first before they got into other spots. Give your thoughts down below on what you think of Kirk Cousins being QB1 for the Falcons. Negative, positive, it doesn't matter. It's a safe place in the comments, unless people want to argue with you. That's out of my control. But outside of that, leave your thoughts down in the comments. If you want more, because I'm going to be on top of Falcons free agency, subscribe to the channel right now to get all the latest Atlanta Falcons content, what they do in the draft, what they do in free agents. We're going to have guys like Steve Weish and other people on the channel for the next couple of months to try to get analysis on every move the Falcons are making. I'm going to step it up and give you guys the Falcons content that you guys want to see. So subscribe, like the video, tell your friends. Let's get it, guys. It's your boy Bryce Lewis. Kirk Cousins is QB1. We'll see you next time.